అవును. മറ്റേത് ഡിസ്ക്രിപ്ഷൻ അത് ഹാഷ്ടാഗ് ആയിട്ട് കൊടുക്കും. ഹാഷ്ടാഗ് ആയിട്ട് കൊടുക്കും. മറ്റേത് ടാക്സ് അതാണോ? ഈ ഡിസ്ക്രിപ്ഷനിൽ ഹാഷ്ടാഗ് കൊടുക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ആ പക്ഷേ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അപ്പുറം ഇരിക്കട്ടെ ബാക്കുണ്ടാവും.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Good morning.
yeah. Okay, to see you all. So welcome to the webinar session, which is conducted by Aspire Training Research Consulting on the day of World Food Safety Day. As we all know that June 7th is the World Food Safety Day. And this year the theme is prepare for the unexpected. So it's mainly to prevent the food incidents, which is mainly happening in most of the industries. So this is the reason why we are doing this session today. So as you all know that the session is about ISO 22000-2018 awareness session, and this session will be led by Ms. Greena Girishan. So she is working as operation manager at Aspire Training Research Consulting, and she is having 12 years of experience in food industry. She worked as a quality manager in Gulf Seafood for 10 years. Then now she is pursuing her PhD in food safety culture. She has done her master's in industrial fisheries. And also Ms. Ruby Salim, she is also leading this session after Ms. Greena Girishan. She is a deputy training manager at Aspire Training Research Consulting. So, and about myself, my name is Anjali Joni. I'm working as training manager at Aspire Training Research Consulting. I have a total 8 years of experience in food industry. I worked as a hygiene officer in Kuwait, Sodexo Kuwait, for 4 years. Then I joined here in Aspire Training Research Consulting. So once again, a warm welcome to the free webinar session. So welcome all, and I'm hereby welcoming Ms. Greena Girishan to start the session. Thank you. So thank you, Anjali, for the wonderful introduction and then the welcome. So good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Hello?
Yes. Hi, Greena.
Yes.
Hi, I think most of the faces are familiar. I can see most of the familiar, names and faces here. Okay. So shall we start? So I hope most of you are from food industry and students as well, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, okay. So we can start the session. I hope my screen is visible with the slides on it. Am I right? Yes, ma'am. So today's session,
Yes,
as
it's
Ms.
visible.
Anjali detailed, she gave some details about today's session. This is ISO 22000 awareness program. Okay. So most of you are maybe having some idea about what is a food safety management systems and also ISO. Okay, so we can just start with the session with introduction of our organization, Aspire Training Research Consulting. So we deliver training, research, and consulting services to various manufacturing and service industries. We are active in. We have corporate head office in Dubai and a regional head office in Cochin, and also we are active in Saudi Arabia. We have branches in Saudi Arabia. Then in India we have Bangalore, Chennai. So in different countries we are active in so many consulting activities and training as well. We provide training in the areas of quality management, environmental management, health and safety management, food safety management, HACCP, hygiene, risk management, process performance, soft skill, and internal auditor, lead auditor programs. So in the research activities, we are doing product development, process performance, market research, and supply chain development for the interns, internship and student activities. And also in the consulting, we help consulting in manufacturing and the organizations to implement the certification program like various FSMS and QMS and also ISO related standards. And also, yeah, of course, ESG, Environmental Sustainability Program, and all those. So some of our clients. I'd like to go directly into the training session. So this is like today we are going to discuss about ISO 22000 food safety management program. So all of you know, as all of you know, maybe knowing the students also, what is FSMS is? Food Safety Management System is. So the word itself means it is the objective of the food safety management system, or the core concept of any of the food safety management system is to provide safe food. Am I right? So the main concepts include, okay, the food safety management system will ensure protect health of the community and then comply with legislation or due diligence support. As most of you know, this due diligence is the documentation support. If something happens or for the auditing purpose, we can use the due diligence support of FSMS and fulfill moral obligations, and also it can avoid poor media coverage in case of some food poisoning incidents, and then protect brand image of your organization and also meet customer concerns. Okay, so these are some of the benefits or the results of a food safety management system that can ensure. So what are the benefits of FSMS? As I already told you, it can prevent food safety incidents, and as it is a it's a structured and systematic. So whenever you are going for a food safety management system, already implemented food safety management system like HACCP or FSSC or ISO or BRC, you might be knowing it. Your system is a structured one. Like you have got your own documentation system that will protect food safety. In turn, it is implementing the practices and the good hygiene practices, good manufacturing practices. In a way, it will provide a structured system. So that system should be proactive. What is proactive approach? Say for example, if something happened, something is happening. Okay, say for example, a food safety incident has occurred in your organization, and then you are trying to reach what happened wrong. That is a reactive system. Okay, so when it is about what we call it as a proactive system is you are taking all the measures and all the approaches or all the critical control points or what are all the situations in your food industry or in your operations, you are going to prevent all those hazards in this particular steps so that in the final step produced by you is safe. Okay, this is simple as that. And also it focuses on the critical food safety area so that the final product should be safe. And also legal compliance, then provides training and involving all food handlers in this FSMS and ensures customers, enforcer and consumer confidence. So we can truly say this system will introduce safety even in the product development stage because this is structured in such a way. So that structure, what is a structure? So every FSMS has got different structure based on its requirements. Okay, so if you take HACCP, the requirement structure will be different as per Codex standards. So if you take FSSC, that will be different as maybe it is different from HACCP as it has got more concepts other than the food safety. Okay, say for example, they are more into the food based and also when we talk about food defense. Okay, then biovigilance, VASP, vulnerability, threat assessment. All those concepts are included in FSSC. So same like BRC, the structure is different. So whichever FSMS you take, the final objective is to ensure food safety finally. Okay. So before implementing any of the FSMS, the initial startup is you should meet some requirements. You cannot simply jump into an FSMS. Okay, so there are some prerequisites you have to meet before implementing any or before starting thinking of any FSMS implementation. So that basic things we call it as GMP, GHP practices, or in a simple term we can call it as prerequisite programs. Okay, so these are in the screen. You can see some of the points that we are going to mention in the next slides. Like these are included in the PRP. So location, surroundings, that is first important thing. So I don't know how many of you are from the managerial part of any food safety organization or food manufacturing organizations. They might be knowing it. Okay, so which are the important things you will consider before implementing this practice? So just I will tell you with an example. So you're going to start a food business. Say for example, it is which food business we can take? Can someone suggest from the group? You can even comment in the section in the comment box. Okay, we can have an interactive session. So any comments? No comments yet. Okay, then we will choose some hotel industry or food manufacturing. Say for example, it is milk industry. Okay, so I think most of you, some of you may be aware about the milk manufacturing. Okay, in that, what are the locations or surroundings which you may choose for a milk producing or pasteurization? All those things will happen in the particular process, right? So the location and surroundings. So you cannot go for an industrial location where there is a lot of dust and so many polluted atmosphere. You cannot choose it. So location plays an important role. And of course, especially if you are going to export the product to another country, you may choose which is close to maybe airport or maybe close to the seaport. Am I right? So that is importance of location and surroundings, and layout and design of food premises. That has got a very important role in ensuring food safety, because when we talk about layout and design of food premises, this ultimately this will result in how you are preventing the cross contamination and also a streamlined workflow. Okay. So then comes the equipment and containers. So when in this particular GMP, you will talk about, okay, which type of equipment I need to choose for my operation. Maybe this is food safe, food grade. Okay, what it is made of? Is it easily rust? Okay, there is chance for easily rusting. So many things you will consider, whether it is made of glass or metal plastics. Am I right? So this is this you will discuss in equipment and containers. And then comes to the facility. Okay, how the facility is maintained, how the building structure is properly maintained. So the floor, the ceilings, even the windows. Okay, so many things will be there. So you have to consider all of this in relation to the food which you are going to manufacture. So operations and controls. Here we will discuss about the operational practices, how you will be receiving the milk, how you will be receiving the ingredients, how you will be receiving the water. Okay, then how you are producing. Okay, pasteurization is the process. How you are going to operate it. Load of things will be coming in the operations and control section. Then comes management and supervision. Then comes finally the product which you have produced, how it is going for testing. Okay, so you may be checking for the biological parameters like bacteria. How many bacteria are present in the food? Am I right? So based on, and also chemical parameters or physical parameters, whether there is any hair in the product. Okay, so load of things you will check, and after testing, and if it conforms with the requirement of your product, then you will be giving a positive sign. Okay, this product can be go for a sales. So that is for testing facilities. Then sanitation and maintenance of establishment. That is very important. Another very important point, that is sanitation. So it is not only that you are producing so many products. It's not like that. So you have to maintain the facility well hygienic situation. So that's hygiene and sanitation. You are going to implement in your organization, plays an important role in maintaining the food safety. Okay, then personal hygiene. So that is also how the person should be, how the food handlers should touch the product or touch the surface, or how they should groom their self, which are the PPEs they have to use it, how they should appear themselves, like they need to trim their nails. See, a lot of things you will consider. So if the personal hygiene is handled properly, you can avoid n number of non-conformities from your system that will result in food poisoning. And also product information and consumer awareness, that is very important. How the product is, okay. So you're producing a product which is milk. So that is, I know, I hope that you are aware about the allergy conditions of some food. So milk is an allergen. So whether your product brand or product label contains, okay, this product contains milk. So what is the importance of giving such labeling? That is a product information, because the consumers who are allergic to this particular type of allergenic product, they can avoid it. Simple as that. So consumer awareness and how they can use this product, whether this is ready to drink or they need to heat it, or they need to, what is the final, okay, the consumer that they need to do from their side. That is what coming in the consumer awareness and product related information. Then comes the training part. That is, whatever things you do in the system, it will not work if you do not give proper training to the employees or the food handlers or the managers who are going to implement this practice. Right? So that is also very important. So this constitutes the GMP and GHP system. For the whole premises, we need to prepare a PRP list and then we need to maintain it. Then good hygiene practices, personal hygiene, transportation, storage, and also sometimes there are some special requirements for high risk food. So I hope you already know what is high risk food is, right? So high risk and perishable foods, we need to take care of that. It's a ready to eat food. So whenever you are producing a high risk food, you need to not make a note on that, because this is going to be a direct consumption. So whenever the consumer is going to have a direct consumption of the food, there is a risk. So this is in your hands whether the safety of the food is compromised or not. So for that, you have to follow some special requirements. Say, for example, maybe if you're going to produce a cooked food, say it is a cooked shrimp or cooked chicken, you need to ensure that the product has reached its core temperature during the cooking process. Or what will happen? It can result in food poisoning, because there may be chances of some bacteria or pathogens present in the food that will result in a food poisoning. Okay. Then prerequisite programs. So what are prerequisite programs? The programs which control the site-wide lower risk hazard. Say, for example, when you're talking about the HACCP system, the HACCP system will take care of the high risk, or say, for example, the significant hazard. When you talk about the significance of hazard, for the students, I am just explaining a little more, because, okay, in your product, say, for example, it is a cooked chicken. You can have a lot of hazards in the product. Okay, hazard in the sense anything which is present in the food that can have, and that can result in a harm. Okay, or that can impart a harm to the consumer if they consume the product. Okay, it can be physical, it can be chemical, it can be biological, or it can be sometimes allergenic. Okay, so whenever we are talking about physical hazards, it can be there are hair complaint or hair issues or metal complaints, or can be some stones. Okay, so whichever we can see through our eyes, that is a physical hazard. And we can sometimes can have some cleaning chemicals which is present in the food that will be implicating a chemical hazard. Okay, so there can be some pathogens present, say for example Listeria or Staphylococcus. A lot of pathogens can be present in the food if it is not properly cooked or handled. So that can result in a biological hazard. Okay, and as I said, milk is an allergen, as all of you know. So if milk is present in the food, and in the same food, if some another, so if you are not labeling the food properly, and then the consumer who is allergic to this particular product may consume it without the knowledge of this product contains milk. So there is a potential hazard in there. That is allergenic hazard. So these are the particular hazards which we are going to remove from the system, which we need to remove from the system in order to make the food safe. So how we can remove these hazards? That is what the prerequisite programs and HACCP is doing. Okay, so in this particular thing, what is significant and which is non-significant or lower risk, that we need to identify. So when we talk about the lower risk hazard, I would say an example of a small hair. So when we talk about a higher risk hazard or a significant hazard, we may pull example as metal hazard, right? A metal screw in the product, that is a high risk or a significant hazard. So when you study the HACCP system, you will understand, okay, HACCP is a system which is having a prerequisite program as part of the system, which will mitigate the issues of lower risk hazards. Okay. So there are some terminologies you might be knowing. It's critical limit, critical control point, so many things. So allow HACCP to this.
is, as we talked about the layout, then building premises, then personal hygiene program, chemical control program, allergen control program, then there are traceability program. Okay, so what is the importance of traceability when we talk about traceability? Okay, say for example, if your product has gone to the market and it has got a food safety issue or some food poisoning issues, what we will do? You will do, you need to first identify which product or which is the batch number or the lot number of the product which resulted in this particular food poisoning. So you may inform the stakeholders or the rest or the the consumer groups or the bulk suppliers, and then they need to segregate this from the market. So for this purpose, you need to ensure the traceability properly. So these are all the things which we need to discuss in the PRPs. So building is there, location, design, construction, layout, and maintenance. So many things we will need to consider. Then equipment, design, construction, and installation. So when you talk about design, it is having, it should not be a complex thing. Okay, so it should be, it should promote or it should familiar or it should facilitate the easy cleaning, or the construction should be in such a way that it should facilitate the easy movement, or it should not be having any loose hanging parts, so that it can have some impact on the food safety by adding some material hazard sometimes, right? So installation and planning, preventive maintenance, you have to have an equipment list with you, and you need to ensure that each and every equipment is properly maintained and it has undergone the preventive maintenance on a scheduled frequency. Okay, then comes the calibration, same as that. So you will be having a checklist of equipment, then you will go for a calibration. Okay, whether my cooker is calibrated, whether my freezer is calibrated, whether my thermometers are calibrated. So all those things we will ensure by maintaining a calibration list. Then comes the cleaning and disinfection. What we will discuss in this cleaning and disinfection PRP? See how I am going to clean my freezer, how I am going to clean my pasteurizer. Okay, which chemical I need to use for the cleaning purpose, which disinfectant I need to use for disinfection. So many things there will be questions. So this PRP will give answer for all these questions. Okay, then pest control and management. How you will do pest control? Okay, before doing this pest control management PRP, you need to check which are the pests actually you are expecting in your premises. So based on that, you need to develop a pest control program, prevention program. Like, okay, if your organization is undergoing some seafood manufacturing activities, you can expect a lot of flies there, right? So how you will prevent the entry of flies into your premises? You can opt so many options, like you can input air curtain in the entrances, or you can input some electric fly killers everywhere, like in the core stations. And also you can input some okay, if there is some crawling lizards or some pest mouse or something, you can input glue traps, and also there are rodent stations. So many pest control devices you can input. And then services like, okay, the water, air, steam, how the quality and the safety of these ingredients are maintained. Control of chemicals, where I need to choose, where I need to lock my chemicals in the, or cleaning chemicals or the ingredients. Okay, so where I need to store it, who will be authorized for that, the dosage, all those things will be coming in the chemical control program. Then glass and hard plastics, where it is, okay, which are the glass items I am using in the facility. So you will make a list of all the glass items in your facility in a paper. Then you will go for an auditor. Okay, whether this light has some got some crack or something, then you will note it down. Then you will inform this to the concerned person. They will correct it. See, this is how. Then temperature control is there. Waste management. Okay, that is another very important PRP. So many things. These are the prerequisites related to the premises. When you talk about the premises. Okay. So how you will check? Okay, you have a lot of PRPs in place. Then how you will check the effectiveness of each PRP? Whether my pest control PRP is enough, the current practices are enough. You need to check it, right? So how you will go do that? It is in a simple way you can do. You can make a checklist, audit checklist for each and every PRPs. So you will go to the site and you will verify, okay, this is okay. Even after implementing the pest control program, still you are facing the lot of fly issue inside the facility, means the PRP is not proper. That's why, right? So these are the things you need to ensure the effectiveness of each PRP. Okay, then now we are going to the food safety. The food safety team means the team of people. Okay, the team of people, they are the first responsible people for facing any of the food safety related issues. Say, for example, they are the team, they will develop the system. So they should be knowing what are the components of the system and how it is structured, then how it can be maintained. As all of you know, for every team, we should have a team leader, right? So the team leader has got more responsibility, like they need to they need to ensure that the team contains, okay, I have a team member from maintenance, I have a team member from purchase, I have a team member from quality and production, then I should have a team member from warehouse and logistics. So this constitutes a multidisciplinary team. So what is the importance of choosing a multidisciplinary team? You can have even members from the quality team itself, right? But why we are going for a multidisciplinary team? Because as a quality team, the quality controller may not be knowing a lot of things from technical part of the machinery or the production part or from the purchase part, right? So we need to pool the knowledge from different disciplines. That's why we need to have a multidisciplinary team. Then it should be inter-hierarchy, like you should have a supervisory level, you should have managerial level. So that also will add knowledge into the system. Then it should be workable size. And as I said, these are the departments from which we need to avail people from in order to create a food safety or hazard team. So it should be technical, production, maintenance, purchasing, product development, and also warehousing and distribution. Or maybe sometimes if you do not have any microbiologist, okay, say for example, if you do not have a laboratory in your place, maybe you can choose some external experts also or consultants also in your team in order to provide you knowledge from that particular part. Okay. So what are the benefits of using a team? It will include input from all disciplines and also exceeds the capability of one person. Okay. Then also, if you're working as a team, the challenging environment that will lead to some discussion. So in order to figure out the solution, it will be easy. Okay. Then can lead to more cohesive workforce, and also it offers training opportunity, and also using a team is always motivational. And comes the training of the food safety team. Okay, somebody's asking some question. Okay, so training the food safety team. What are the training? Somebody's talking. I hope. Okay. So training the food safety team means it requires a thorough understanding of the FSMS and their practical applications before beginning the study. Say, for example, if the hazard team leader, when you talk about a hazard team leader, he or she should be having some extra, like, core knowledge, some detailed knowledge about the hazard system. Okay, how it is structured, which are the principles or which are the steps of hazard, which has to be implemented in the facility. Okay, so for that she or he should undergo some detailed courses about hazard, like hazard level 4, level 3, like that. Okay, and should have a higher level of food safety knowledge. So, and it's a responsibility of the team leader to ensure that all the team members are having relevant knowledge in their particular field of activity or in the hazard. Okay. So here in the introductory part, I have given this, you may be thinking that, okay, this is training session for ISO and we are talking about still GHP, PRP and FSMS. So I just want all of you to smoothly slide into this ISO. That's why. Okay. So when you talk about ISO 20000, all these structures, okay, all these PRPs, all these food safety management system parameters will have a role in this. So how it is connected, that's what I'm going to explain in the next slides. So what is ISO? ISO, simply we can say it is a food safety management system, as like HACCP or FSSC or BRC or Halal. So these are all food safety management systems. Same like that, ISO is also a food safety management system. Here you can see a number like 22,000. So what it stands for? ISO 22000 is a number, is a standard which specifically related to food safety management. Okay, ISO means International Standardization Organization. It has got different standards, as you may be knowing about the QMS, ISO 9001, ISO 14000, ISO 27000. Okay, so many standards are there in ISO, but ISO 22000 is the only standard which talk about food safety. So what is ISO? ISO is an independent, non-governmental international organization with a membership of 165 national standard bodies. Okay, so through its members, it brings together experts to share knowledge and develop voluntary, consensus-based, market-relevant international standards that support innovation and provide solutions to global challenges. See, it is actually not a mandatory standard to implement in any of the food industry, but it is a voluntary approach. So, if you have okay these all the PRPs or relevant requirements which are related to ISO, which is in your which you are satisfying all the requirements of ISO, you can go for the certification. Okay, it is Central Secretariat is situated in Geneva, Switzerland. So some of the other ISO management standards, as I told you, this is ISO 9000, 14000, 22000 is food safety management system. 14000, you know, which standard it is related to? It is environmental management system. So 9000 is a quality management system that any of the organization can choose. Okay. So also when you talk about this ISO, you can see there is an year which is there, 2018. What it means 2018? 2018 is a year when it was modified in the last. It was the last modification of ISO happened in 2018. That is what it implicates. So how we can implement ISO 28000 FSMS? That is what we are going to discuss in the coming slides. Okay. So ISO 28000 is made up of 10 sections, which is known as the clauses. Okay. So I think some echo is coming. Maybe you can mute it. Okay. So ISO 20000 is made up of 10 sections as clauses. So I will show you the 10 clauses here. You can see scope is there, normative reference is there, then terms and conditions definitions, context of the organization, leadership, planning, support, operation, and performance evaluation. Then comes last the improvement. Okay, so this structure, I in the initial slides, I think I have told you all each of the FSMS has got its own requirements and structure. So when you talk about the structure for ISO 20000, this is a structure. Okay, so there will be the manual of your ISO 20000 will contain these 10 clauses from scope to improvement. So what are the contents in this particular thing? You can see in the screen, as you can see, there are you know, as the first and second clauses, the third clause is a general. Then comes the context of the organization as the fourth one. You can have 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4 clauses. Then 5 is the leadership. Then 6 is the planning. Then comes the support. Then operation. Then comes performance evaluation, and then comes the improvement. Okay, so this is a structure of ISO. So when you talk about ISO, there can be, you know, I told you there are different type of ISO systems are there, like ISO 20000, ISO 9000, ISO 14000. So when we talk about ISO, there is a terminology like high level structure. So what is a high level structure? High level structure is, okay, if you when you open the standard for ISO 9000, you can see this 10 clauses. When you open ISO 14000 standard, also you can see this 10 clauses. Same you can see in ISO 20000 clauses. That means this 10 clauses remains same in all the ISO standards. Okay, so that means all the ISO standards are having a standardized structure, and that is called as high level structure. So what is the purpose of having this high level structure in ISO standards? Any idea? It is simple as that. If you have ISO 9000 in place, okay, you are an organization, you have implemented ISO 9000 in the first place. So you have a manual which has this 10 clauses in this. Right? So next, maybe next after 2-3 years, you're going to implement, you are a food safety organization or food manufacturing organization, you wanted to implement ISO 20000. So in that particular situation, it will be easy for you, because in ISO 20000 also what will be there? This 10 clauses will be there. So you can easily merge, or you can easily integrate this particular standard into these clauses. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what are the general requirements or the general things which will be coming in the clauses. So first, just leave the first 3 clauses because it's general thing. It will be like, you know, in the scope you will be describing what is the scope of your organization. See, as your organization is if your organization is a seafood industry that is producing some cooked shrimps, So your scope will say this organization is, or the ISO 20000 of this organization has a scope of production. Then okay, say for example cooking or a production of cooked shrimps in so and so packages, ready to eat cooked shrimp in so and so packages. So you can see this particular scope in the certificate. Okay, then comes the normative references, then the terms and definitions. So what is the importance of terms and definitions? Say for example, in this clause somewhere you can see, okay, you shall have a food safety policy. You shall have, food responsibilities and objectives. You shall have a risk register. Okay, what this shall means? You can say, you can even say should also some places. But as in the general knowledge, okay, when you say you should do this means you must do it. But that is not the standard says. When you come to the standard, should means you may, okay, this is not mandatory thing. You may or may not do this. But when you say, okay, you shall have a food safety policy means you definitely should be having this. If you don't have this, it will be non-conformity. Okay, so that is what the terms and definitions mean. So in relation to food safety or in relation to the standard, this particular terminology means this particular thing. Okay, this comes the terms and references. Then comes to the context of the organization. When you talk about the context of the organization, you need to have a complete understanding about the organization and its context. And there are some interested parties, external, internal. Okay, food safety management system practices, scope. So what is the interested parties in your business? Who are all the interested parties in your business? Say, you may have suppliers, they have interest in your business. You may have consumers, they have interest in your business. So these are the external part, okay, external component of your food safety management system. But what are the internal interested parties? You may have your employees, right? You have your management. All those parties are the interested internal parties. So you have to clearly define who are the external parties, who are the internal parties in your manual, in your system. Okay, then comes the leadership part. So here you will describe who are the leaders. Okay, the CM, who is the CEO, who is the general manager. So who are the senior managers of your, who is the leading team of your organization, and what is the commitment? So if you are if you are working in a food industry which is implemented with BRC or FSSC, you may have some food safety policy in a premise which is exhibited there in your main entrance or in your food premise, right? So in that you can see there is a food safety policy. Say for example, our organization will ensure food safety and we are committed to a lot of things. There will be a list of commitments. So who will be signing in that particular document? You know that? That definitely that will be from the top management, say maybe CEO or general manager, whoever it is, because this is a commitment they have to show because they are already committed to the food safety of the organization. So their roles, their responsibilities, their authorities, all things will be clearly indicated in this particular section, leadership. Then after determining the leadership, you have to go for the sixth step. What is the sixth clause saying about? The planning. Okay, planning means, okay, for telling this planning, support and operation, we have a PDCA cycle. Okay, for PDCA cycle, when all the ISO system is their core component or the core working principle is PDCA. Now you may be wondering what is PDCA, right? So it is simple: plan, do, check, and act. Okay, it is a circular process. First we will plan, okay, I'm going to produce this particular milk production or the milk industry. Okay, milk, this particular branded milk product. Okay, so for that you should have an organization, you have a building facility, you should have this PRPs which we talked before. So you should have some human resource, okay, the qualified people who are already having experience in this milk manufacturing industry. So all those things you need to plan it first. Okay, these are the equipments I'm going to use it. These are the risk I'll be facing it. These are the opportunities I have if I have this business in industry. See, lot of things you have to plan in the first place. Here comes the planning stage. Then what you will require? Okay, this milk industry, milk manufacturing organization, if I need to operate it, what are the support I need? You need the people support, you need the infrastructure support, you need the work environment for that, right? So many things you need to have a support. So in this particular section, you will talk about the support. That will come the planning, then do. Next is the do is means you have to operate it, right? You have to operate it. So what is the operational part comes? The PRP, the traceability system, the operational SOPs like, say for example, pasteurization process. How you are going to do the pasteurization process? You should validate the process first. Then you are going for some trials operations. See, all those things will happen before this particular operations. So this will be after you okay, then you are going to implement this particular process in your facility. Then finally you have produced the particular product. So you are in the operational plan, do check, do right. The next is check. Check means you are going to evaluate your process, whether there are some food safety incidents happened in your product, or what are all the operational difficulties you have faced while during the production operations. Okay, these are the things you will be discussing the check. Okay, and after checking, you will get some points. Okay, say for example, the process was not proper. Okay, you are not able to achieve the safety because of CCP problem, or there was a critical problem happened in the pasteurization step and that lead to product unsafe. So all those things you will get after the checking process. So you will going for a evaluation finally. What is that? Performance evaluation. In there, what are the things you will do? You will check your product and you have got a result. Now you are going to analyze the result. Okay, whether the customers are satisfied with the product. Have you faced any operational difficulties? So I need to review my HACCP system, or I need to review my CCP critical control. The temperature should be I need to improve the temperature or increase the temperature to this particular heat, or then only or the product will be safe. Lot of things you will do a performance evaluation. So this is a simple structure. This, and based on the performance evaluation, you need to do the improvement, like non-conformity, corrective action, continual improvement. Then you have to update your food safety management system based on all these improvement points. So this is a simple structural explanation of the ISO clauses, like clauses 1 to 10. Scope, normative references, terms and definitions, context of the organization, leadership, planning, support, operations, performance evaluation, and improvement. I hope this section was clear to you. Okay. Any doubts until this section? Until this section, is there any doubts? Is it clear? I'm not able to hear anyone from the group. Okay, I hope everything is clear now. Okay. So next one is, yeah, you can visit this. So what is the question? Normative references once more. Okay. So I will just open the standard for you in order to explain that. Let me know if it is shared. Okay. Is the screen shared or the standard I need to share? Let me know if it is shared, okay? Shared, right? It is open here. I hope it is shared now. Yeah, so yeah, I'll explain one more time this normative references. So first thing is the scope. I hope all of you have understood what is the scope. Then comes to the normative references. So in this particular standard, if you open ISO 20000, there are no normative references. It is written here, no normative references, right? So what it means? So there are references that you are going to use in this formation of this particular document. See, this is a single standard which talk about ISO 20000 food safety standards, right? So in this terms and references, there are no normative references. Means there is nothing to refer. When you prepare this document, before that there is okay. For explaining that, I will open one more standard here. Let me check. And is there any standard in this ISO and other standards? Down. So let me check. Not moving, I guess. Is it moving the slides? Yeah. It's moving. Okay. I'm going to the end. Just talk some. Okay, you can see here in this ISO 20,000 references. Here you can see in this particular document and the changes of the changes in this particular document. The cross references between this document and ISO 20. There are the before this particular change of this document, it was changed in the last year 2005. Okay, and after that, these are the major changes which was occurred between this document. Maybe say, for example, in this 4.1 and 4.2, there are no changes. There are some new changes. So you can still check for this, right? So there are in this separate columns, it is mentioned the clause numbers as well, 8.4, 8, 4.2, 8.4.3, there are some changes. So in the normative references, normally they will include this particular details. So for preparation of this particular document, there are no normative references. See here, you can see this is ISO TS document. This is a normative references document for, I'll show you. It is just a reference document you can see. Okay. I hope the TS is open now. Okay, here you can see the following reference documents are indispensable for the application of this document. For dated references, only the edition sites applied. For updated reference, the latest edition of the reference document should apply. See, here they have written ISO 20000-2005 Food Safety Management System, requirements for any organization in the food chain. I hope it is clear now, because for preparation of this ISO TS, they have used normative references from ISO 20000-2005. I hope it is clear. Okay, so we can go to the slides. So we have discussed about the PDCA cycle. So what is PDCA cycle in the context of ISO? It is plan, do, check, and act. This is the formula that you have to always remember when you do the ISO 20000 standard implementation. So what are the planning? You can see here context of the organization, as I told you, who are your leaders, what is the context of your organization as part of internal and external. So here you need to discuss one important thing is a risk register. So what is a risk register? Risk and opportunity register. More detail in detail way we can call it as risk and opportunity register. So what is a risk as a leadership? This is the responsibility of the leaders of the organization to find out the risk associated with your business. Okay, there are some unexpected risk or the expected risk. So which is also related to food safety and also the economic or financial part. So when you talk about HACCP or any other food safety management system, it will simply look for a food safety related risk. But it is not the case in ISO. If you have ISO standard in your system, you definitely you should be going for the financial, or is there any biovigilance, or say for example if there is any operational risk. Okay, so many risks that is related to your business, that can be internal or that can be external. Okay, that risk you have to identify there. Then the mitigation plans for all these identified risks. Okay, so this is the context of the organization, leadership and planning step. You will utilize this risk and opportunities register. So this is responsible, and this will play an important role in the support preparation, that is planning or do. Okay, so in the operation step, as I told you, you will analyze all this is a very vast part of ISO, the section that is do. Here you will refer, you have to prepare the PRPs related to your business, how your business is structured, like the emergency preparedness and response, who will be responsible for the emergency response of in your business, how your traceability system works, then how the HACCP system works, like hazard, validation, all the HACCP steps, its principles, its verification, all those things will be coming in the PR operational sector. Then updating of the preliminary information and documents. So here comes the act part, right? Then check and then do. In the implementation of the plan, you will be checking for these, which are the non-conformities you have identified during the verification plan. Then you will take the solution, or you will have to implement the solution as a corrective action. That is a very important role in FSMS. So if you do a proper and effective corrective action, that will reflect in the food safety part of your business. Okay, so that means your system should always be live. you have to, okay, once the documentation part is complete, the system is not going to end there, right? You need to maintain it properly. So for that, what are the things you need to do is, you have to properly apply the corrective action which you have taken for the non-conformities as part of your check procedure. So planning, do, then check and act. This is a circular process that will be happening in order to ensure the effectiveness of your system. So there are some top tips for the successful implementation of an FSMS. You should have an effective FSMS, ensure that the top management is committed to its establishment, implementation, update, and the continual improvement. So there is an important role for the top management, okay, and their commitment. So get everyone involved. In order to make the system live and active, you need to involve the top management as well as the food handlers. So if you ask the food safety policy of your organization to any of your organization members, they should be able to tell this to you, because that there comes the commitment of your full management system and then the FSMS system. Okay, because all are working towards in order to achieve this particular food safety policy or objective of the organization. So here comes the part of hazard analysis, risk assessment, process control, and procedure writing. And make sure your system includes PDCA cycles and operational. So without this following this PDCA cycle, you cannot go for implementation of FSSAI ISO 20000 standard. Okay, so remember to identify how you have selected the applicable food safety hazards within your system. So that needs some expertise and knowledge about the food process that is going to be in operational. Then when changes to products or processes occur, you have to timely update your FSME system. Say, for example, if you're going to add one new product in your business, but if you are just simply you cannot simply add this particular product in your product list. You need to study or you need to implement this PDCA cycle for this particular product as a whole. Okay, so whenever you're going for a change, there can be some process change. You're going to input some different process. Currently, you have cooking process. Now you're going for a pasteurization process. Means your whole FSM system has to be reviewed in order to fit in this particular process in the system. So review your monitoring and measuring devices are calibrated at specific frequency to ensure the reliable result. So if you have a thermometer or which is not calibrated for a long time, what will happen? The temperature you are going to measure may be wrong because you are not certain about the particular result. So that has a direct impact on the food safety. So these are the important tips that you have to have in place before implementation or for the successful implementation of an FSMS. And also remember your supply. Say for example, you are procuring milk from the farms. So a lot of hazards can come into a product to the farms, right? Say for example, it can be antibiotics, or it can be some hormone issues or hormone chemical contamination into the product, or it can be some physical hazard, or it can be some pesticide issue because it can come through the vegetation which the farm animals they have consuming it. So a lot of hazards which may be directly or indirectly affecting your product you need to check on. So the supplier assessment, evaluation, the risk assessment, the high risk suppliers, whether they are low risk suppliers. Okay, all those things you need to ensure. Then food safety concepts are likely to be new for many or most of your employees. So the employee training, that is very important. So managerial people, food handlers, and the supporting people, or the HR people, or the housekeeping people, whoever they are, they need to undergo specific training based on their area of expert or their area of operation. Okay, so people may need to change habits ingrained over many years. So it is your responsibility to make them updated with all the practices. Not only the PDCA cycle concept, the ISO, how it works, how the hazard system is working. So what is the role in this particular field or the segments? Okay, so remember to allocate sufficient resources to routinely test your controls. So that is a very important part, the human resource. The trained human resource is the power of any of the organizations. So the threat to your organization also will be same, because if you don't have a proper trained managerial or the supervisory or the food handling human resource, they may not be able to apply the logic. That creates a food safety culture, a good food safety culture in your organization. So next step when implemented, you have to go for the awareness training about this ISO. Then you have to set the policy Then you will go for a documentation or process design. Then process implementation, once it is done, you have to go for the internal audit. So in the internal audit, you are going to find out, okay, whether the system which I have designed is suitable, whether the policy or the risk or the opportunities which I have planned is actually happening, or whether the documentation system is able to implement, I am able to implement all those records in the particular operations, and whether I am able to prevent those hazards based on the hazard plan in this particular business. So all those glitches, system glitches, you are able to identify in this internal audit. Okay, so after the internal audit, you will get a list of comments that are the non-conformities of your system. So you need to take proper corrective action, correction. You need to identify the root cause of the problem. Then you need to identify the correction, then the corrective action. So after evaluating the corrective action effectiveness, you can go for a system implementation or management review. So your top management will meet with this corrective action points, whether they're effective or not. Then the top management will consider, okay, they will give a positive sign for proceeding with the implementation of the certification process. So there will be thorough gap analysis of implemented systems. After corrective actions, you can go for the certification audit. So this is how the implementation of ISO is structured. I hope this is clear to you. So the major requirements are, the major legal requirements are FSS regulations, EU regulations, US FDA regulations. If you are exporting to different countries, they may have different regulations based on the customer country requirements. Okay, so say for example, if it is in India, you have to go for the FSSAI regulations. If it is in UAE, you have to go for the Dubai Municipality Food Code. If it is in Saudi or somewhere, it is SFDA. And if it is in US, it is USFDA. And if it is in EU countries, you have to go for EU regulations. So in the country regulations, you have to alter your legal requirements, which is in the ISO. Okay, that is generally it is there. You have to choose the particular applicable legal requirements based on the country requirements. So finally, we are in the audits and certification process. So what is the first thing? We implemented the system implementation. Then we applied it, application. Then you will inform the CB. CB means it's a certification body. They will come for, the auditor will come from the CB for stage 1 audit. Then they will give you some NCs if it is there. Then you have to correct it with the corrective action plan and then the implementation plan. Then you can apply for the stage 2 audit. There also some auditor will come. Then you will check the certificate. Then after completing all the non-conformities, it is placed by the auditor. You can get the certificate. So finally, you will be ISO 20000 certified organization. So after getting this, every 3 years, you will face a recertification audit because the certificate expiry is valid up to 3 years. Certificate is valid up to 3 years. So you will face a recertification audit before 3rd year and also the surveillance audit in between. So every year you will have a surveillance audit and the 3rd year you will face a recertification audit. Okay, so these are the document review and then the system certification. So I hope all of you are you have gotten just awareness about this ISO 20000, how the structure is, how the high level structure works, the PDCA cycle and the PRP, importance of PRP, the requirements, how you can implement it, then how you can go for the certification process. Thank you. So any doubts, you may please ask now. I hope all of you have got a idea about what is ISO, it's structured and how it works to ensure the food safety. Hello? Hi, Rogel. Are you there?
Hi, Grina. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, okay. Can you comment on maybe if you have some doubts or what are your thoughts on this ISO 10000? Maybe you can, because you have a lot of experience in this field, right? More than 20 plus years of experience, I know. So we would like to hear from you on this.
Yeah, I think everything has been covered in this presentation.
Okay.
And I think on the perspective of food safety, the requirements of the ISO standard is very clear. The only thing that probably needs to be considered here is that the interrelationship, for example, of ISO standards, since you mentioned about the high level structure. There are some companies that have multiple standards, not only related to ISO. So, for example, in the Gulf region, they have halal certificates. So, um, since it is also the objective of the ISO to have integrated management system, then they should consider how they can integrate the ISO requirements to other standard frameworks like halal and FSSC probably. So that's also
Yes, you're
one
right.
thing that they need to consider in the documentation aspect.
Yes. Thank you, Rogel. Thank you for your comment. So with this note, I would like to say any more questions? Certification. Okay. So I'll just share the. So regarding the certification process, it is a simple process. We have talked about the PDCA cycle and the high level structure. Once your documentation part is complete and you are starting operation and then your implementation is completed, you can apply for the stage 1 audit. After the MRM, I told you, after the MRM, you will have, you will have some comments, and then after the corrective actions, your system is perfect now. So you can go for the certification body. You can apply to the certification body for the first stage 1 audit. So in the stage 1 audit, the auditor will come to your facility and he will cross-check your system against the ISO 20000 standards requirements. See the clauses, no? The 10 clauses. Based on that, he will check your system, both document check and then the site visit. So based on that, he will get some non-conformities. Okay, your system, your training is not, maybe he has some comments like, okay, your team leader training should be level 4. Or the HACCP team should have some awareness training on the HACCP. Okay, so some comments they may put, or there are some, the cleaning is not proper for the particular machine. So a lot of comments he may raise. So these comments you are going for, you need to identify the root cause of this particular non-conformity, and they can be major sometimes or can be minor. So all those comments you're going to address the root cause, then you are putting a correction and corrective action plan. Okay, so after that you are submitting this to the auditor. So after verifying this these comments, if there are some major corrective actions, it may take some time, and then the stage 2 audit is planned based on that. So in the stage 2 audit, the auditor will again evaluate your system. Then you can avail the certificate after the completion of all the non-conformities. Okay, so after the certificate, once you are certified, you will face the audit every year with the surveillance audit. Every year there will be surveillance audit, and consecutive 3 years is completed, the certificate validity is going to end. Then you will face a recertification audit. I hope it is clear to you. Any more doubts? So with this note, I would like to end the training presentation. Over to you, Anjali.
Yeah. So thank you, Miss Greena, for this wonderful session. It was very informative. I hope you got an idea about the ISO 2018 standard. It was an awareness session. So as like this, we are every month we are conducting this complementary trainings is based on the different standards. It's not only ISO, and also we are delivering the training in the field of food safety, health and safety, and also the high field qualifications, then food safety management system standards, and in high field qualification, as you all know that we are mainly giving the trainings of HACCP, that is HACCP and food safety, level 4, level 3, all the trainings. And also we are into consulting for mainly for the food safety management system implementation and for the consulting for the standards. And also we are having a research section, that's R&D lab. Here we are many of the students are doing internship programs, and also the graduation and undergraduation project under our R&D lab. So this is all about us. So you are there, you are welcome to Aspire Training Research Consulting for any inquiries. And finally, I have sent one feedback form in the Teams group in the chat list. Okay, so everyone, I'm requesting everyone to please fill your valuable feedback. Then only from that list only you'll be taking your names to prepare the certificate. So it is mandatory to fill this valuable feedback. Then only we can take your name to prepare and to deliver the certificates. Okay, I hope it's clear. So thank you everyone once again. Thank you for this wonderful session and also for your valuable time. Okay, thank you once again.